I do want to introduce our first speaker. We have Amber Stitt, who is a nationally recognized disability and life insurance specialist with over 15 years of experience designing income protection strategies for physicians and high-earning professionals. She is a co-owner of Nimki Disability Quotes alongside her business partner, Scott. Amber does pull designations such as the Chartered Life Underwriter, Chartered Financial Consultant, and Certified Long-Term Care Specialist. In addition to her advisory work, she has hosted the Amber Stitt Show for more than 4 years, interviewing entrepreneurs and exploring pathways to success in business and life. She is an active leader in the insurance profession, serving as immediate past president for the Phoenix chapter of the Women in Insurance Financial Services, and as a member of NAVA Arizona. Amber speaks regularly at insurance conferences with a focus on leadership, team development, and the practical use of AI to build more efficient organizations. Outside of work and family, Amber enjoys reading, photography, and Pilates, and is committed to advocacy and financial education. She supports junior achievement, volunteers locally when possible, and is actively involved in her children's school community as a room bong at a local elementary school. Amber does reside at Cape Creek with her husband and 2 daughters. And with that, I'd like to welcome you to the stage.
I'm really thankful for being here. It's kind of interesting how this all played out, but through the different organizations and NAFA introducing Courtney and I, that I was able to come today and share a framework that I've been using for over 5 years and share some of my best practices. So as she has mentioned, some of us are facing just market disruption. Just an interesting time. It's just a different time, different than anything we've seen. And I want to share this framework with you and some business strategy, hoping to inspire. We're in a personal development day, leading this meeting. I'm really thankful for being here. But my goal is to also give you guys some takeaways, things to implement, really to structure this your way. And before we get into a lot of the business strategy and ideas, brainstorming for yourself, we're going to talk a lot about how to build a framework so we can have resilience. And when life throws us something, we can survive. And we have the tools. We all know that we offer things to clients so that they can be who they need to be and have money if something were to happen. But this is also a way to have like a mental reset and help your mental health too, because if you can be really proactive versus reactive, that's what I hope to bring to you. And I really didn't realize it until about 5 years ago that this is really why I've enjoyed this business. So I hope today part of this is to bring strategies, and we'll go through the framework. But if I can share my story, and new agents too, if you don't have a story yet that you feel comfortable sharing, you can borrow mine or borrow a friend. Try to find a way to communicate with your clients to build that connection. It's really less about the insurance jargon that we tend to do. Sometimes we don't really realize it. We want to connect with people and really build that trust. And we're going to talk about why it's just more important, more than ever. They say that we're in a trust recession with a lot of the technology. So in the room, Courtney kind of teed up a little bit about things that people are facing, but I know property casualties felt a little market disruption. And anyone feel a little bit, not so much fear, but maybe a little fear or just a little bit of stress? And how do we get to 3 to 5 years out and feel confident about, we're not really sure, we've never been to this place before. And we've had COVID, we've had other things happen, but making sure that we can still be present and have that connection with people. So it's like a not operational disruption, but really thinking about how to lead. I don't want to say better, but more efficiently, but starting with yourself. We're going to talk a lot about how to build within, and then that can carry over into your business and your families. I do think there's a lot of people that want to build more opportunity. There's a lot of things changing that are very exciting, but it's kind of scary. It's like, how do you package it and roll it out? You have compliance and all these other things that you're facing. So there's a bit of leadership challenges on how to handle all this and lead your teams too, and where to spend your time. So do you feel like your message is a little bit harder to land these days? Or do you feel like it's hard to see past the next 12 months, 18 months with so much changing? Does anyone feel a little bit of that? And you're capable, but it's how do we find this lens? And so that's where we call it pathways. And I've changed the title a little bit. Originally in 2020, it was Pandemic Proof Your Business, because everything was kind of crazy. And we quickly switched that title because that's very fear-based. But I found it interesting. I interviewed a lot of entrepreneurs. How do they keep the business, the lights on outside of our industry? Well, what were they doing to figure out this time frame where people were shutting down their business. So I had a couple of people ask me to speak to do a talk to business owners. So initially we had a framework that was a little different than what you see today, but I had to change it as things were changing. And so when we talk about our business, recalibrating our business, maybe having a pivot, I want you to think about ways to enhance your practice, but not change. Nothing you've been doing has been wrong, but we're going to move into a whole new direction. You're going to enhance, iterate. I've had to do the same. So I want to share some of my tips with you too of what I've done over the last 15 years in financial services, but really 8 years as a business owner. So if this sounds like you at all, I think you're in the right place. I'm excited to share the framework with you. And there is a packet in front of you and there's a lot of writing space. And so if you're one of those people that likes a takeaway, let's start taking some notes, or at least kind of like at the movie theater, open the candy now, make the noise. I hope to give you guys some insight and give you some ideas that you can literally start implementing. So think of it like market disruption does not remove opportunity. It reveals who is prepared to lead through it. Are we doing our best every day? Are we showing up at 100% every day? And so I hope that this perspective is going to help you with this framework. So my goal today is bringing a clear lens for you in your way so you can evaluate decisions better in 2026. Think about direction, not perfection, but really not next quarter, next couple of weeks, but like now, maybe after happy hour in a couple days, but like next week, like what can we start doing next week? And I'll also talk about this phrase a lot here during the next probably 30, 40 minutes is we really have to lead ourselves before we can lead others. And maybe just write this down or take a picture because I really want this to be about you and what you need specifically. And everyone's going to be doing things a little bit differently. And so through the 5 steps, we're going to have a little challenge at the end. And this is special to you. So when we get through each, we'll call it like a module, a step. Then I'd love for you to write down a couple things so that you can prioritize and have some takeaways. Okay. All right. So these are the 5 steps. I do have a tracker that's on a QR code out at the booth. So this is something you can write down because I would like you to write down something in each step, or you can take a picture. This was Pathways to Peak Performance not too long ago. It's about how to optimize. But now I feel like the lens, the perspective is going to be different for all of us, and it's all important. So this has been the most recent iteration. So discipline, the perspective, is the discipline of stepping back from urgency to evaluate decisions through structured, long-term lens that you understand. So actions taken today will serve you years from now. And you'll hear me say proactive, not reactive. We know life's going to throw us curveballs, but let's not lose ourselves in it, but be present when we need to be, to have that shock, that stress, if that's the case. And if we can do this framework for ourselves, then you can bring that in and communicate that to clients. So thinking about leading yourself first, and that'll help you have some clarity to lead others. I hope this helps you guys brainstorm within and figure out what's the next step. We call it a pathways pivot. Someone might go over and say like, hey, here's my pivot. I've been doing this. And a pivot, I would straight up definition, is not like completely changing course, like you did something wrong. It's really enhancing and doing something new that you know you're called to do. So I hope that I felt you guys had thought of those ideas and it'll carry you to the next meetings and the conversations, happy hour. So that's my hope. I hope that this was helpful. But thank you.